This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon, and we are coming up to the end of the week, which means the end of the Matrix. Well, it's not really the end of the Matrix, is it? If you've been listening, you get that. No, the end of the Matrix theme. And to recap, we've gone over the Matrix itself, and basically that it's just a womb that we're plugged into for safety reasons that the Mother Earth is feeding to us. Well, hopefully for a little bit longer. We'll find out. Then we talked about the red dress as a distraction. I've had a few red dresses myself this week. Take from that whatever you want. If a picture of me in a red dress is appealing, maybe that's your red dress. Anyway, then red pill, blue pill, red pill. We discussed that. The idea of the messenger of the truth. Follow me and we'll go into Wonderland and see how deep the rabbit hole goes. And that's the Red Pill Project. That's my promise as well with everyone that I work with, is that it's I'm not here to tell you your truth or my truth. It's simply pointing out the truth. And the funny thing about when the truth arises, we can attempt to stay superficial, but when the truth actually fucking shows its face, what happens? And anyone that's seen it knows exactly what I'm referring to. You feel it in your gut. There's a thing that you might hear, you might see, you might. I remember one of the best examples of this is the book King, Warrior, Magician, Lover, the four archetypes of mature masculine. In that book, it goes through and explains the archetypes, which is effectively like archetypes are. Think of like Greek gods are almost archetypal in nature. So, but the thing about the archetypes is that they also have a shadow. And I often talk about shadows of personality through the podcast, but it'd have an inflated shadow and also an isolated shadow. And when reading that, both myself and many other men that I've spoken to that have read it, like as they've read it and as I'm reading it, and I'll share from my experience, there's parts that just land that I didn't know, but my body knew. My gut fucking just crunches. It just like twists, and I'm like, oh my God, I got to address this thing. And that's the truth, just showing its face. And this is why I encourage people. It's like you have to be able to, in life, wanting to know the truth, you have to ask questions, wanting to know the answer, not wanting to be right. There's a big fucking difference. Well, it's actually subtle, but it's a big, big difference in the long run. And so the key thing there is ask the questions, wanting to know the answers. And so the red pill is simply observing the truth without judgment, especially judgment of self, but either way, you'll have to go back and listen to that one. Then yesterday's was Neo, or The One, and talked about, well, there really isn't a one, is there? We're all ones, right? Yeah, interesting one. I hope you got something out of that one. And then today we're going to talk about the construct. I did a video for Funk, my gym, Functional Fitness Australia. Funk, otherwise, is our nickname in the gym circle. I don't know. That's what we're called. And the start of it, I didn't realize this became a part of it. My editor edited it in, but we talked about particular things in the industry that were just constructs. And I went on to say, jokingly, that even a construct is a construct, which is pretty funny because it is. And I'm going to actually explain constructs, right, first, and you'll see that. So explaining something like the construct is not saying that it's bad. Let's point that out. The matrix itself is not bad. We interact with the matrix. It's how we earn money so we can buy things that allow us to eat. I mean, fuck, that's not a bad construct, right, to have, but it has been constructed by humans. It is not a natural process. It's been a human construct. Even colors are a human construct. Without it, they don't have it like this. It's not a thing that the universe has had. It's a human construct, right? That's why the matrix is a construct. Language is a construct. They're all constructs. They've been constructed by humans, right? None of it's bad. Where it becomes dangerous is that when we're in the construct and we can't see we're in a construct, we can't step back and realize that, you know, An easy way of example is somebody that works like fucking 8 to 6, right? Even 9 to 5, but 8 to 6 in a box with air conditioning, with fluorescent lights, and they're eating things out of a box. They're working, looking at a box, right? Typing on this box, and they drove there in a box, right? After leaving their box, and they're always constantly in fucking side, and then they're sick, so they take little pharmaceutical things from a box, and it's like this whole box life is fucking constructed. None of it is natural, organic. It's not outside of the structures of what we've agreed to live in because we're born to pay tax to a government because it's governing. So they say. So the thing that I'm pointing at more than anything else is not that the construct is bad. It's just that it's there, right? In order to listen to this podcast, you're listening off bad construct. You're listening off something that was simply constructed for humans. It's not bad. It's just that when we're totally run by it, when we feel bad because we didn't do something at work, that just doesn't fucking matter. It's like that's what we're choosing to interact with the construct as being inside it. And so when I say that even a construct is a construct, it's a construct because it's the language that we as humans have created, or one of the languages, by the way, that we have created to try to understand things. And so when people say, and I heard this on a podcast from someone that I do admire, and they said sort of to step back and look at it and call it something different, like stop giving it a map. It's like, but calling it something is giving it a map. Language, the human mind is giving it a construct. It's constructing a map. It's a construct, and that's okay. But if people once again are just fucking blinded by it, that they're in it. When we can step back and we see that it's all just fucking constructed, then we get to choose how we want to interact with it, right? When we realize that we're a human, we're a spirit having a human experience, not a human every now and again having a spiritual experience. And I had this conversation on my webinar with my educational group last week, is that every single person is a spiritual person because they're a fucking spirit. Like every single human, but someone's like, oh, I'm really spiritual. I'm more spiritual than that person. He's a really spiritual person. Spiritual is not materialistic. Every single one of us is a spiritual human being. We're a spiritual being. It's just that we have all of these things in the way of us experiencing that pure, like, energy, that pure being. And it's the constructs that are often doing that to us, and that's okay. We're doing it to ourselves, right? Even being human is a construct. Moving on. Let's move on from stop calling everything kombucha is a construct. Did you know? Whiskey's not. Whiskey's pure. So in this whole point that I'm making here is the ability to step back and realize that we get to interact with the world how we choose to do so. There's no one right way, because one right way is assuming that everybody should abide by a particular set of rules that we've all agreed with is the correct way at all times. It just doesn't fucking work that way. It's an opinion. It's a thought. This is one of the other reasons why people don't tell you how it is. They tell you how they see it, and they're usually dickheads, which is me telling you how I see it, by the way. So on that note, the thing that I want to point out, I hope this podcast was useful for you. I hope it was beneficial just from the understanding of that. The difference with the Matrix and being unplugged from the Matrix is seeing the fucking constructs for what it is. It doesn't mean that they're not useful. It doesn't mean we shouldn't have some sort of government. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't have self-serve checkouts or industries. It doesn't mean we shouldn't have those things. It's just when we're not separated from those things and we're living to fuel those things, then we are the fucking slaves. That's the difference. Team, on that note, I am done. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you found this week and this podcast very beneficial. It would mean the world to me if you would share this with other people that you think would also find it beneficial. If you're interested in my Red Pill project, please get in touch. I'm only opening it for a couple of people I'm starting it in 2 weeks, for 10 weeks. And I'm more than happy to expand on that. I'm going to watch my socials at DD Nix on Instagram, Dave Nixon on Facebook. I'll release a lot more information about it there anyway. Otherwise, get in touch with me. It's half price for this 10 weeks before the Mood Prep Live seminar on the 21st and 22nd of September in Sydney. They're the details that you need to know. But if you stay in the Mood Prep community, I'll let you know a lot more. Otherwise, team, that's me done for today. I'm out. Until tomorrow, peace and pizza, kick today in the dick, and slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.
To be every be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.